Namo Buddhaya. The words that we speak have a great power. Remember, words can make people as well as the words can break people. Therefore, our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, advised us to speak always the nice words. Supreme Buddha advised us, you should not speak harsh words. Supreme Buddha said, Mavocha parusang kanchi. Do not speak harsh words. Why? Vutta pativadeyutang. If you speak harsh words, you will be spoken harshly by someone one day as a result of that action. That is the law of karma. Supreme Buddha said, Dukkahi sarambhakatha. The harsh speech, rude words, angry words is a suffering for everyone. Patidanda puseyutam. If you speak harsh words, you will be spoken harshly one day. That is the result of those actions. So that is why our great teacher Supreme Buddha advised us to always speak nice and gentle words. Because no one in this world would like to be spoken by anyone harshly. No one likes to listen angry words. No one likes to be scolded by someone. Sometimes in life, we may think to solve the problems, to deal with arguments, we need to be angry. We need to be stubborn. We need to speak harsh words and we need to hurt others in order to control others. But that is wrong. Remember, our great teacher Supreme Buddha advised us the best way to control the people, best way to win the hearts of the people, win the trust of the people, the best way to deal with the arguments is to use the kind words. The perfect example for controlling people with kindness is our great teacher Supreme Buddha. Supreme Buddha never used harsh words, angry words to control people, to tame people. Supreme Buddha used the kindness, compassion, loving and pleasurable words to speak with people. That is why millions and millions of people loved the Supreme Buddha in the Buddha's time. They loved to listen to the Supreme Buddha's words. They trusted the Supreme Buddha's words because it was very nice. It was kind. It was gentle and it was healing like cool water. So, when we are dealing with our life problems, when we are dealing with people who are very toxic, when we are dealing with arguments, remember, you should watch what you are speaking. You should give a big concern about the words that you speak. Because words are like a weapon. It's like a knife. Now, when we take the knife, we can use the knife in order to do something good as a useful thing. Right? We can use the knife to cut vegetables and cut useful things. And also, knife can be used to kill a person. So words are like that. Words can heal the broken hearts of the people, as well as words can break the hearts of people. Sometimes words can lead someone's life to the death. So that is why Supreme Buddha said, never speak harsh words, rude words, angry words. If you speak angry words, what is the result? You will be spoken angrily and you will get hurt by the same words one day by someone else. So as the result of that action, according to the law of that karma, you're going to go through a hard time one day. So remember, when you speak the words, you have to think about what you are speaking. Supreme Buddha advised us that you should not speak all the things, all the thoughts that comes to your mind. Normally, people don't think about the thoughts that pop up in their mind, right? Supreme Buddha advised us that when a thought arises in your mind, you have to consider about that thought, whether this thought is good or bad. Whether this thought is going to hurt someone else, or is this thought is going to hurt myself. So if it is an evil thought, Supreme Buddha said, you should abandon that. You should not act upon that thought. You should not speak with those thoughts. That is why Supreme Buddha said, Manasache paduttena bhasativa karotiva. If with an impure mind, if one acts or speaks, Supreme Buddha said, Tato nang dukkhamang veti chakkang vahato padang. The suffering will surely follow him like the cart wheel that follows the ox. So, dear devotees, you need to think twice before you speak. You need to give a big concern to what you speak. When you're speaking a word, always let those words to go through these 3 filters. Now, normally, people use filters to filter out the bad things from something good. So you need to flow your words through these 3 filters before you speak. So what are those 3 filters? Remember, before you speak any words, always think, is this word is a lie or a true? So when you think that, you can stop lying. So that is the first filter. And the second filter is, before you speak anything, always think, are these words are going to hurt anyone? Then you can stop the rude words that you are speaking. And the third filter is, always think, are these words are useful or not? Then you can stop the useless words that you are speaking with your mouth. So let your words to flow through these 3 filters. Then your words will be pure, right? If you speak gentle and nice and true words, everyone will like you. Everyone will like to be with you because everyone likes to listen to nice words. Everyone likes to be with people who speak nicely. So always speak gentle and nice words. Never speak harsh words to anyone. Remember, words can make people and words can break people. Namo Buddhaya, Teruvan Saranai. First of all, we have to realize that living in the present moment, focusing your mind to the present moment is not a simple thing. It is very hard, but also it is an achievable target. Our great teacher Supreme Buddha taught us, Atitang nanvagameya nappati kanke anagata. You should not chase after the past. And also, you should not make too much expectations about the future. Supreme Buddha said, Yadati tang pahinantang appattancha anagata. What is past is left behind. It is gone. It is over now. Appattancha anagatam. The future is yet to come. It hasn't reached yet. Buddha said, Pachupannancha yo dhammang tattha tattha vipassati. What you have to do is live in the present moment and see the present moment as it is, right? Realize the present moment as it is. So it is very hard to focus your mind to the present moment. Our great teacher Supreme Buddha taught us the nature of the mind is it always runs to the past. Normally, our mind has a habit to wander in the past, memories, right? When we are alone, when we are solitude, and when we live in our life alone, lonely, normally it is the nature our mind runs to the past. It lives in the past memories, thinking about them. Sometimes you may regret about them. Sometimes you may be happy about them. Sometimes you may cry about them, right? So that is the nature of our mind. It is always wandering in the past. And also sometimes our mind try to make expectations, too much expectations about the future, right? People dream too much about their future, but they do not work for the dreams to come true. So our great teacher Supreme Buddha taught us, you should not let your mind to wander in the past, as well as you should not let your mind to go for the future and make too much expectations about that. What you have to do is you have to work in the present moment to make your future better, as well as to make your past better. Because when you live correctly in the present moment, right, your past will be a good one because you have lived in the correct way. And also, if you are sure that you are living correctly in the right way in the present moment, your future will be also a good one because you are doing the right thing right now. So, you need to have a good practice to focus your mind to the present moment. So it should be practiced by meditation as well as it should be practiced in the practical world, in your life. So I will teach you some tricks or things that you should practice in your life to be in the present moment, right? So when you have a free time, right, dedicate yourself to live in the present moment for a little time. During the day, when you have the free time, allocate your time about 5 minutes to live in the present moment. Sit on a chair, you can close your eyes and just experience that you are in your present. You are not in your past, you are not in your future, always you are in your present. That is the reality, right? The past has gone as well as the future hasn't come yet, right? So close your eyes and just try to focus your mind to the present moment. Try to think about what you feel, what you hear, and what you think about. All the things that you experience now will fade away to the past, and it will go into the arena of past, right? So take your time in the day and practice this. The best way to focus your mind to the present moment is the breathing meditation. Breathing meditation is one of the best meditations that you can bring your mind from the arena of past and the future to the present moment. Because the breath, when you are focusing on your breath, right, always the breath arises and it goes down. So this breath prevails in the present. So when you focus your mind to the breath, then your mind is always in the present moment. And also, you have to practice to live in the present moment in your practical life, in your day-to-day life. So how to do that? So it is very beneficial to live in the present when you are in the hard times, when you are going through a problem. Now suppose if a person comes to you and started blaming you. Now when he is blaming, you hear that sound, the words, right? When we think about these words, right? When he is blaming, you hear that, and after that very moment, it has gone to the arena of past. Those words are not prevailing anymore, right? But our mind does not like to think that. Our mind clings to those words, right? Our mind tries to hold on to those words, and what our mind does is it always make a loop-like thing to bring back all those thoughts, all those words again and again to our mind, and that is why we are suffering. That is why we feel hurt, right? If we can realize the reality that all these words that I heard has gone to the past, they are no longer here anymore, they are vanished, then you don't want to suffer for anything, right? Because it has gone to the past. You cannot do anything about that. But our mind is not ready for that, right? Our mind tries to cling to those words, right? So what you have to do, when someone blames you, when you are going through a hard time, realize that all those things are impermanent, and it vanishes very quickly from my life. So I don't want to worry about them, right? So if you are living in the present moment correctly, doing the correct thing, doing the right thing, doing good things, you don't want to worry about the past, as well as you don't want to worry about the future. Of course, you can make the plans for the future, no problem, but do not dream too much about it. Because the more we dream, it is like we are stopping our vehicle and just looking towards the road without driving, right? The more we dream, we feel jealous about the achievers who achieve our goals, right? So it is like you are stopping your vehicle on the road and looking at the vehicles that pass by. You're not driving, right? You can make your plans, you can make your goals, but do not dream too much about it. Just start working for it, right? So the dream becomes a goal when you are working on it only. So if you can live in the present, doing the correct thing, doing what should be done now, you don't want to worry about the past, as well as you don't want to worry about the future. So in that way, you will have a life without regret and without worrying about the future and the past, and live your life in the present moment and be happy by your life. Namo Buddhaya, Thiruvan Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. Today I'm going to share a wonderful story with you. Once in ancient India, our Maha Bodhisattva, whom we called the Buddha to be, was born to a family of traders. He grew older and he became the leader for 500 caravan of traders. So they packed their food, water and rations to cross long deserts. So one day, while they were traveling to sell their goods to faraway cities, they came across to an edge of a desert. So in order to get to the city, they had to cross this desert. So this wise Mahabodhisattva, this young trader, decided that it is very harsh and it is very dangerous to travel this desert in the daytime because the sun was too hot, and the sand was too hot, like burning charcoal. So they decided to travel in night and to rest in the daytime. So they arranged their carts in a circle in the daytime, and they rest under the carts, under the shades. And they started crossing the desert in the night. After a couple of days later, the desert guides said that they have reached their destination and they are one night away to the city. So the traders was very happy, and they ate everything that they had, and they drank their water because they had to reduce their weights in the carts. So while traveling at the night, the desert guides lost their path. And after traveling a long circle, they returned back to the middle of the desert. Now, when the sun rose in the next day, they realized that they had lost their way and they have come to the middle of the desert. Now they are in the middle of the desert and they have no water and they have no food to eat. So everyone was parched, everyone was tired, and everyone was suffering from thirst. So everyone gave up all of their hopes and they laid down on the hot sand, resigning their life to the fate. But this young trader, our Mahabodhisattva, thought, if I give up my hopes, everyone would die. If I give up my courage, everyone will be in danger. So I must find a solution to cross this desert, and I must find a way to find some water to these people. So while our Mahabodhisattva was walking here and there thinking of a solution, he saw a bunch of grass has grown on the desert. Then the Mahabodhisattva decided, if there is a bunch of grass, there must be a stream of water running beneath this bunch of grass. Then he called to everyone and said, dig under this bunch of grass and you will find water. Everyone was happy and they took their spades and mammoties and they started digging a hole in that place. After hours and hours of digging, they came to a surface of a stone. Everyone was tired. Everyone was crying because they could not break the stone. They could not find any sign of water. Then everyone laid down around the hole and they started crying and started yelling at the leader. But our Mahabodhisattva didn't give up. He searched for a person who has the courage to do something about this disaster. Then he called to a boy, and Mahabodhisattva said, son, if you give up, we all are in danger. Take this sledgehammer and start striking to the stone. There must be water beneath the surface of the stone. This boy was courageous enough to do that. He believed in the words of the tradesman, and he took the sledgehammer, went down to the hole, and he started striking hard to the stone. First strike, the stone didn't break. Second strike, it didn't break. Third strike, it did nothing. He summoned up every part of the strength, every single strength that was inside his body, and he struck hard to the stone surface. The stone surface broken. A huge gush of water cascaded from the stone, filling the hall within no time. Everyone was happy. Everyone drank water. Everyone fed their oxen. And they filled their vessels with water, and they started traveling. They started crossing the desert again. And finally, they reached to the city happily. Dear children, dear devotees, sometimes when we try for our success, when we do the things that make our lives successful, it seems a bit harder. Sometimes you may feel that you should give up. Remember, you will fail only if you quit, if you give up. If you did not give up, one day you will achieve the successfulness in your life. Therefore, sometimes success may be one step away from our life. All we need to do is go for that, do that, take some risk, and find your success in your life. Because doing these things, doing the things which makes our life better, doing the things which brings the happiness to our life is hard. So you have to remember that if you give up only, you will fail. Therefore, never give up. Always work for your success. Although it is hard, one day that success will make your life happy. So never give up being a good person, and never give up being successful in your life. Namo Buddhaya, Tirvan Saranai. Normally, haters are the people who are with negative mindset. They are the people who are with weak mindsets. So, first you have to remember that we cannot avoid each and every hater in our way. We cannot keep their mouth shut, because they will always speak. So, what is the best reply for a hater? The best reply is silence. Say nothing, do nothing. Just work on your success. Focus on your goals and just work on that. That is the best reply. Never reply from the words, reply from the actions. So even our great teacher Supreme Buddha had haters. When he was preaching the Dhamma, when he was healing the hearts of the people with the Dhamma, there were people who talked trash about him, who tried to put him down. But Supreme Buddha never replied with anger. Supreme Buddha never replied with resentment. Supreme Buddha never went to argue with them, because he knew the best reply for a hater is silence. And also Supreme Buddha advised us, when people talk rude words to you, when you hear harsh words, what you have to think is, I shall not affect my mind from anger, and I will not speak any evil words to them. Instead, I will make my spirituality a pure one. I will make my life a better one. Because if you are focused on your goals, if you are focused on your life, that is the best reply to the haters. Remember, therefore never be a hater, and also never be afraid of the haters. Because only negative people show their anger to others. Mentally strong people, people who practice the spirituality best, never show their anger to others. So remember, say nothing, do nothing, focus on your goals, just work on it and achieve the goals. And that is the best reply to them. So reply with silence, never reply with words. Namo Buddhaya, Tirvan Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. In life, in some instances, We regret about the things that we have done in the past, right? We think that, oh, I shouldn't have done this thing, right? If I did not do this thing, my future and present will be much better than now. Like that, we regret about the things that we have done. Our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, taught us a way or the facts that you should develop within your life to build up a life without the regrets. So this great advice was preached by our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, in Alavaka Sutta. In that sutta, it says, to build up a life without the regret, you need to have 4 qualities. You need to have 4 qualities. Number 1, Supreme Buddha said, you need to live a life with truthfulness. That means you need to speak always the truth. Now, when we take this fact, normally people think in order to escape from the problems, in order to escape from the difficult situations that they find in their life, they need to lie to the people, right? If they say a lie, then they can escape from that. Of course, for that instance, they can escape from that problem. But remember, if you say a lie, if you tell a lie to someone, you will have to remember that lie forever. Because you need to protect that lie without being revealed, right? So sometimes you need to tell 10 more lies to protect that one lie. So after the truth has been revealed, because one day the truth wins always. So after the truth has been revealed, the people will regret about what they have done in the past. They will think, oh, I shouldn't have said this thing. In that time, I shouldn't live that like that. So Supreme Buddha taught us, you should live a truthful life in order to live a life without regrets. Number 1. Number 2, Supreme Buddha said, you should be wise. You should have the wisdom in your life. So what is the wisdom? You should be wise in taking decisions of your life. Remember, your life is so valuable. It has a great value. The decisions that you make in your life, the choices that you make in your life will determine your success in your life. Right? So that is why Supreme Buddha said, you need to be wise in making choices in your life. So every time when the thoughts pop up in our mind, we make a choice to act on them. Right? When evil thoughts pop up in your mind, evil thoughts like anger, resentment, hatred, jealousy, when these thoughts arise in our mind, we make the choice to act upon them. And also when the wholesome thoughts pop up in our mind, we make the choice to act on them or speak on them. So our great teacher Supreme Buddha taught us, you need to make a good choice. When the good thoughts arise inside your mind, you need to make a choice. I should do this. I should do this action. This is a wholesome thing. This is a good thing to do. Right? When the evil thoughts pop up in your mind, what you have to think is, no, these thoughts are not good for my life. These are harmful for me as well as to the others. Right? So I should not do this thing. I should not speak like this. In that way, you need to make a good choice to always bring your life from evil to the wholesome. That is called the wisdom, the ability to find what is good and what is bad, ability to distinguish what is good and what is bad. It is called the wisdom. And also Supreme Buddha describes the wisdom so much far away from that point. But in your life, you have to be wise in making decisions. You have to be wise when you choose your friends. You have to be wise when you're dealing with people, right? If you live a wisdomful life, right? If you live a life with full of wisdom, your life will never remain in regret. So that is the second one. Number 3, Supreme Buddha said, you need to be courageous. In order to achieve any successful goal in our lives, we need to work hard. We need to work hard without giving up. Each and every successful person in this world had the courage to achieve those successful goals, right? Without hard work, without practicing, without the courage, you cannot achieve good goals in your life, right? If you did not have the courage in the time that you should have courage, right? After you become old, after all those chances are blown away from your life, remember, you will have to regret about your life. So that is why Supreme Buddha said, you have to earn money when you are young, or you have to live a wholesome life when you are young. When you become old, if you did not earn money, and as well as if you did not live a wholesome life, you will have to regret about your life. So that is why Supreme Buddha said, be courageous in your life, right? Practice the courage. If you have the courage in you, if you have the dedication within your life, you can achieve the good goals in your life. That is number 3. Number 4, Supreme Buddha said, having all these qualities, you should be generous. So what is generosity? Generosity means ability to give the things in your life and share the things in your life with others, right? Normally people, when they become more wealthy, right, when they become rich, they don't like to give the things to others. Remember, life is not living only for yourself. Life is also about how we dedicate our lives for others, how we help others, right? So that is why Supreme Buddha said, you can be rich, earn money, no problem, but you should be generous. Don't be stingy. Be a helping hand to this world, right? So if you practice the generosity within you, you can be happy with yourself because you feel that you have done something good in your life. You have helped someone in your life, right? Helping people, the feeling that we get after helping a person, remember, that is one of the greatest and the sweetest memories in our life, happiest moments in our life. So help people, be generous. So if you have these 4 qualities in your life, what is that? Truthfulness, wisdom, courage, and generosity. If you have these 4 qualities within you, Supreme Buddha taught us, you will never have a life with regrets, and you can escape from the regrets in your life. So practice these 4 qualities and build up a life without the regrets. Namo Buddhaya, Theruvan Saranai. Namo Buddhaya. First of all, I need to ask a question from you. Why do bad things happen always to good people? Now, I know this is a question that most of us have asked from ourselves in our life. So when the miserable things happen to our life, when unexpected things happen to our life, normally we ask from ourselves, why always me? Why these things happen only to myself? What is the wrong with me? So our great teacher, Supreme Buddha, taught a wonderful fact about the life. Supreme Buddha taught us, Sabbe Dhamma Anattati. That means everything is not yourselves. It is not under your control. So, life also not under your control. Remember that. We are living a life. This is not a fantasy. This is not a movie. This is not a dream. This is a real life. The nature of the real life is, it is unpredictable. We don't know what will happen in the next time. Can you guess what will happen in the next time? In the next moment? In the next second? No, no one knows that. Right? And also, our life is uncertain. We don't know in the next moment we will lose our life. Right? So there's a big mystery about the future. Right? So, when the miserable things happen to our life, when unexpected things happen to our life, remember, the nature of our mind is to always regret about that. Right? We have a great sensitivity. We have a big sensitivity to the negative side of our life. Right? There are so many problems that we face in our life when we are living this life. So when we face those problems, when we are going through tough times, when the misery and the unfortune hits our life, we may start to regret about those past miserable memories. Right? So what we have to do to get rid of this negativity is always we need to look for the bright side of our life. There are so many things that we can be happy by thinking about our life. But keeping away all those good things, we always focus on the negative side. That is why most of the people in this outer world, in this society, they are regretting about the small things that happened in our life, in their life. But they have thousands and thousands of things that they can be happy by thinking about. Right? So what we have to do to escape from this negativity is to always focus on the good things about your life as well as the good things about the others' lives. And that is how we practice to bring our thought process from negativity to positivity. And remember, life is unfair, right? We think that we are good people and we expect that good things will happen always to us. But remember, karma and life does not care about you. It doesn't care how good you are or how bad you are and how successful you are, what social status you are in. It doesn't care. It has its own ways. Karma has its own ways. So, there will be tough times. And also there will be easy times and happy times. Life is like a book, remember. When we are reading a book, we go through sad chapters. We go through happy chapters. We go through adventurous chapters. But if someone met a sad chapter and if he stopped reading that book, if he stopped reading that book and keep it away because it was a sad chapter, you cannot enjoy the whole essence of the book. Life is also like that. When we are living our life, there will be happy chapters, there will be sad chapters of our life, and also there will be adventurous chapters. But if we stop in the sad chapters of our life, what will happen? We will never make our life successful. Remember that. That is why they say, if you focus on the pain, you will start to suffer. But if you focus on the lesson, you will start to grow. So when the life teaches you hard lessons, tough lessons, right? When you are going through the tough times, problems, maybe they are physical problems, mental problems, social problems, relationship problems, whatever problem it is, you should not make that problem a destination, right? You have to go through them. And that is why they say you will grow through what you go through. So what you have to think is, you need to think this life is unfair. And that is why Supreme Buddha said, Sabbang paravasang dukkhang. Everything that is under others' control is a suffering. We cannot expect everything will be happen according to our wishes, because some things in lives are under others' control. And also Supreme Buddha said, Sadharanang vihanyanti. That is a great saying of Supreme Buddha. If you expect the fairness from this unfair life, you will end up as an exhausted person. You will end up as a tired and fatigued person, because life is unfair, and the problem is that we are expecting the fairness from our life. Therefore, do not expect always the fairness in your life. Bad things may always happen to good people. And also, good things also are happening to the good people. So when the bad things happen to you, what you have to do is bring your focus from negativity to the positivity. Bring your focus from the dark side of your life to the bright side. See, there are so many things that you can be happy by thinking about yourself. I don't know what they are, but there are many things. Everyone has bright side of their life. What we need to do to be happy with ourselves, to make our life a successful one, is to focus on that positivity. The more you focus on the positivity, the more you will become happier. And the more you will be able to make your life and remake your problems and faults in your life and live a happy life forever. So bring your focus from the negativity to the positivity, and do not expect the fairness from this unfair life. Namo Buddhaya. Namo Buddhaya. As humans, it is a common nature that we make mistakes in our lives. There's a beautiful Sinhalese saying that says, making mistakes is the nature of human, and forgiving someone is the nature of a God. So mistakes can happen at any time, anywhere from us. That is the nature. So when we make mistakes, very few of us ask for the forgiveness from others. Very few of us have the strength to say, I'm sorry. Remember, when you say sorry to someone, it doesn't mean that you are wrong. You need to ask for forgiveness from people. Don't be shy to that. It doesn't show that you are a weak person. Because if you know that you have made a mistake, then only you can have the ability to make it correct. If you did not accept your mistakes, if you did not own your mistakes, you will never correct the faults in your life. So you need to practice to say the word, I'm sorry. And also, sometimes you may accused by people for the mistakes that you haven't done. In such instances, we try to prove them that we are right. We are not wrong. If you haven't done anything wrong, remember, you don't want to prove that you are right, because you already haven't done something wrong. So, in such instances, the best thing to do is to stay silent, stay positive, because they don't know what we have done or haven't done. So you don't want to prove them, you don't want to argue with them, you don't want to yell at them. Just stay silent and smile. So if there is a mistake that has happened from yourself, what you have to do is humbly accept that fault and say, I'm sorry. I will never do it again. So if you can say that word from the deepest place from your heart, right, you have a strong mentality. Remember, only the people with strong mentalities, only the people with strong minds can tell, I'm sorry to someone. So learn to say, I'm sorry. Learn to ask for the forgiveness and also learn to give the forgiveness to others. Because we all are humans. It is the nature of a human to make mistakes. But if you forgive them, if you ask for the forgiveness, that is a nature of a God. Namo Buddhaya, Teruvan Saranai. First of all, we need to realize a real reality in our life to have this ability in our lives. And that is, the whole world is out of our control. First of all, you need to realize that. The whole world that you live in, this around you, is out of your control. People, situations, experiences, and other people's opinions, the things, all the things are out of your control. Remember that. Is that true? Yes. Now, when you take people, can you control people according to all the wishes that you have? No. Can you control the situations that you face in the future? No, you don't know about that. Right? Can you control the experiences that you face in the future? You cannot do that. And also, can you control the things around you according to your wish? No, you cannot control that for 100%. Right? So, first of all, you need to realize this real truth. The whole world is out of our control. But there is something that is within our control. What is that? That is our reaction towards them, our response towards those experiences. Right? So that is what in your control. Right? So normally, it is very hard to let go of the things or the people from our lives, because there is a nature of our mind that it has the clinging effect. Our mind likes to grasp the things and the people and the experience that we see. That is what we call the upadana. Supreme Buddha said, Yankinchi dukkhang sambhoti sabbang upadana pachya. If there is any suffering which arises in our life, that is because of the clinging of our mind towards them. Right? Now, it is very hard to let go of the anger. Right? It is very hard to let go of the sadness. Right? Now, people would like to let go of the hard situations in their life, right? But our mind is not ready for that. There's a special effect that it always wanders in those difficult situations, sad situations, in anger and evil thoughts. right? It is very hard to let go of those things. But remember, all the things that we experience in this world, all the people that we meet in this world, right? All the things that we have in this world, one day we have to let go of these things. Even though we cannot let go of the things today, one day, at the end of our life, we have to say goodbye to all these things, right? But there is something that we take from this life. What is that? The things that we did according to those stimulations. Our reactions towards those experiences, our reactions towards those people. So, if we collect that karma, right, that is the only thing that we can take from this life. That is the thing that only we own in this life. So, we have to remember, first of all, that the world is out of our control. Right? Things may fade away from our life. People may fade away from our life. And also, if you are going through a hard situation, difficult situations, remember, it will also fade away from your life, because everything in this world is impermanent. Nothing is there is permanent, right? Nothing is permanent, not even your problems. And also, remember, not even your sweet memories, sweet times, beautiful times. Everything is impermanent. So when the things are fading away from our life, right? When the people are walking away from our life, do not hold on to them. The problem we suffer is that we are holding on to those things. Right? The more we hold on to things, the more we will suffer. Right? The more we hold on to the things, the more we will suffer. Right? It is like you are keeping a red hot iron ball on your palm. Right? The more you hold on to that iron ball, that red hot iron ball, remember, you are the one who is getting hurt. You are the one who is suffering. But if you let go of that, you are not suffering anymore. So what you have to do is realize the reality of impermanence. Every person, everything, every experience, every situation is impermanent. So when those things are being impermanent, you can be happy by seeing the reality, because you have expected that thing in your life, because you know that these things are impermanent in my life. Right? When the things are fading away, just don't hold on to them. Let them fade away. Let them go away. Right? Don't hold on. The more you hold on, the more you will suffer. So that is how we let go of the things in our life. Right? If you let go of the things, when the things are walking away from our life, you can be happy, right? You can be positive always, and you can maintain your inner peace within you. So don't hold on to things, don't hold on to anger, don't hold on to people, because everything is impermanent in this world. Namo Buddha.